Okay, I'm going to give you a few names of corporations. You can go into the internet and get more information. The Newmont Mining Corporation is owned by Rothschilds and the City of London, and that's not the Queen. On their homepage there was a map. I don't know if it's there still. When I put this report out, they might take it off. There's a world map with the 5 biggest projects, and that was reported by Lauren Moray, Jeff Friend's program. Haiti is next to the US HARP facility at Arecibo, Puerto Rico. The Scandinavian project is the British HARP. That's in northern Norway. And they've also got one in Peru. Turkey is next to the British HARP facility on Cyprus, and the Russians have a HARP facility in Kazakhstan. Now, I gave you a report on Kazakhstan. It was designed and built under Mason's planning and is regarded as Lucifer's new headquarters capital centre. Now, to get a lot more on that, get Scott Onstott's film, Secrets in Plain Sight. Item 2. The mind control weapon. Now, this is a lot of information from Robert Duncan, Dr. Robert Duncan. 2 high-level FBI agents and CIA agents have come forward to validate the existence of an MK Ultra-like project that continues to grab random people for mind control and experimentation. 2 of these have since become part of the program and endure daily psychotronic tortures. All the tortures can be done using directed energy psychotronic weapons with the so-called Continental Ballistic Missile Surveillance Defense Grid. You'll see you're going to get a lot of information in this that the government are not giving you the truth of what they're up to. Through these mind control weapons, it will bring in the time of trouble. There's a time of trouble mentioned in the old book, Jeremiah 30 and Daniel 12. And regarding the wicked and the evil, Yahweh said he will show no mercy on them. Each man will be against his brother, in Jeremiah 13. Now, I give you a warning there. The only defense to this evil mind control is to seek Yahweh's protection. And I'll show you more of that as we go through this report of what you should do. Now, before I read this for you, years ago you might have gone to the entertainment shows by Franklin the Hypnotist or Van Lowe the Hypnotist. Well, don't underestimate the value of hypnosis when it's dealing with this subject. In item 1, Dr. Duncan says that the only way we can win this informational civil war is by educating a certain percentage of the population who come to understand the technology and believe the thousands of witnesses. And only then will government finally stop torturing and killing citizens. In item 2, there's an electroencephalogram called an EEG. It is a representation of the brain's electrical activity, and EEG heterodyning, which means cloning means to copy someone else's brainwaves onto another person. The discovery made by Robert Malik allows this to be done wirelessly anywhere in the world. A new military division emerged called the Psychic Warfare Unit. Initially it was stationed in the Pentagon, but most likely now It's been rolled into the psychological operations, the electronic warfare, and the informational warfare units. Today, this technology is used on patsies to carry out shootings. Now, in the last couple of years, you've had several false flag shootings where a man goes into a school and shoots 20 or 30 people, innocent kids. Now, you might wonder, why would that be happening? Well, the government is using this technology that you're going to learn about in this report for these patsies to carry out these evil murders. And they're doing this because they want the public support to get total gun control. With 4 global unions soon to come into existence, that's the EU, which you already have, the US, Mexico and Canada will be one, Asian Union, African Union. Now they'll all be controlled by the ruling elite. That's the New World Order, the cartel of the secret societies. Item 3, mind control weapons are the Holy Grail, or the ultimate psychoterrorism weapon, and have given birth to the world's most notorious sociopathic scientists and government leaders, and in turn has spawned a generation of the most intense human suffering for weapons testing, efficacy to the people of the world. If Yahweh, the living creator God in the old book, does not intervene to end this time of trouble, it won't take long for man, spurred by Satan, to self-destruct. Now in chart 3, they made up a model to experiment on all of this information. It tells you that the model is artificial and commuted and can be run in fast forward and thereby predict probable next states with a set of confident levels, speech and reactions, for example, before the target's brain has achieved those states. Victims of the psychotronic research call this one form of demonstrated thought reading. The uneducated or conspiratorial psychologists call this thought centerization. Thoughts being finished and spoken back to the target before they barely begin, or they are fully aware of their own thoughts. Now, again, I'll tell you to go into Robert Duncan's Matrix Deciphered. You'll get more info. Item 2, in 1976, on the bicentennial of the USA, a system called TAMI was born. TAMI, T-A-M-I, is an acronym for Thought Amplifier and Mind Interface, a more invasive Big Brother technology. Governments now have new laws by the President that TAMI can be used. It will provide info for suspected victims who will be detained without charge for unlimited time for no other reason that they may carry brain thoughts against the government, so then they'll be labelled a possible terrorist. No doubt this will be a crucial element in causing the time of trouble that's in the old book and this world has ever seen, Jeremiah 30 and Daniel 12. Item 3, electron spin resonance, that's ESR. This is a secret source that the conspiracy kills to keep secret. They don't want you to know about this. No ESR machines are in hospitals. But ask the question, why? Because it would become immediately obvious how easy it is to read body electricity from radar. and read the brain waves at a distance. The basic concept is simple and very analogous to the way magnetic resonance imaging works. Again, more info with Dr. Robert Duncan. All right, we're up to chart 4. Now the top question is, who was the first to use mind control as a weapon or to control people? And I'll give you more details here on the types of technology that they have now got. And some of these technologies they've had for 30, 40, 50 years, but they haven't told you about them. Item 1, EEG, cloning attacks, and ESR and EPR, that's electron spin resonance, electron spin polarity resonance. That's a technique, is one of the major methods of monitoring people's brain activity. And is the same that is often used by all-seeing, all-knowing, omnipotent Yahweh, the one living creator God. And I'm going to give you more details how Yahweh has been using that for the last 4,000 years. Let's look at the brain wave together with modulated external electric fields. Ensures the possibility of targeting and tracking. A mechanism that follows EEG tracking without blockers such as biometric implants, GPS chips, chemicals such as fluoride, and you've got the note there to realise that this is being used as a surveillance on people. Item 2, as I said, go to Robert Duncan, Dr. Robert Duncan. He got a note there on reverse engineering TAMI is of most interest to people. TAMI is one of the most sophisticated global neural interfacing systems this country has. Hypnotized in the matrix and commanded subliminally by invisible electronic signals from TAMI could become the dark permanent reality for the masses. Now, obviously, this technology leads to, again, the time of trouble such as the world has never seen. And that's mentioned in the old book of Jeremiah 30 and Daniel 12. It is difficult to accept that we are a complex, dynamic, self-closed, finite state machine. But the psychotronics control our behavior. Influences like parents, teachers, peers, and all your friends, they tell you what to do, what to believe, and 99% of the people just blindly follow without asking simple questions and challenging what people believe in. I, for one, I won't just go along with something because there's a couple of million people doing it and that makes it right. That doesn't make it right in my mind. Now we're up to chart 5. Treason, sedition. Now, I'm going to give you something that's happened in Australia, but I believe it's happened in many countries all over the world. We no longer run the country as a diplomatic elected government. In fact, they've done their best to get rid of the Constitution, and we are what I call a de facto republic. Now this came about without anybody knowing. There was no referendum, and I'll read you this here. The Act Amendment and Repeal Act of 2003, WA, was an overt act. It was enacted PM on the 1st of January 04 by the Governor Sanderson and Attorney General Jay McGinty. The fellow called Brian Shaw, going in the internet and you'll get more details, he published this. Now, he puts the public of the act was to usurp foundation of Christian government and replace it by silently introducing their Freemason government by stealth, ultimately to create by separation from the laws of England, that's Christian, and the monarch of England, that's Christian, and the monarch of England, defender of the faith, a republic, but a republic headed by international Freemasonry, the Illuminati, ruling elite, secret society cartel. Now, Australia had 2 referendums to try and bring in the de facto, or the republic. Now, both referendums were knocked back by the people with a very high percentage in the 90%. But in my previous reports to you, I told you the Vatican, the secret society cartel, Illuminati, Masons, they worship Lucifer as God. Don't forget that. In item 3, the original Illuminati statement in the 1700s, a fellow called Adam Weishaupt, he made this statement. He is regarded as the founder of the Illuminati. He says, "Behold, our secret. If in order to destroy Christianity and religions, we have pretended to have the sole true religion, remember that the end justifies the means, and the wise ought to take all the means to do good." He says, "with the wicked take to do evil." This can be done in no other way but by your secret society, which will be by degree and in silence. Now, if you look at what he says there and you look at what is happening today, it is happening right in front of people's eyes, and they're not standing up against it. And they should, if they want to keep their freedom, if they want to keep their government as a democratic government. Now, I've given you many reports on the Christian religion being false, being fake, being set up by none other than Satan. I urge you to go back to those reports and get more info. But this is treason against Yahweh, the only true living God, the Creator God. So I'm going to give you some info here. Item 1, for 7,000 times, the holy name of God, which is Yahweh, has been removed and it's been substituted with Lord, L-O-R-D, or the Lord. And in the Jewish circles, Hashem, H-A-S-H-E-M. Now, in the Septuagint, the Christian Bibles, this has led to the satanic forces teaching people that it refers to Jesus. That's a lie. The New Testament, this is a gigantic lie. False texts were placed in the Old Testament to prop this lie up. And you would probably know them if you're a Christian. Isaiah 7:14-16, Isaiah 9:5-6, Isaiah 51. They're the main texts that have been fake texts to prop up the Christian dogma. All those texts, the lies, are not in the original Hebrew text. Item 2. The New Testament, which is added to the Bible in the 4th century, is false. And it's adding to Yahweh's word. Yahweh, in Deuteronomy 4, says, "Do not add to my words." It's written up by Satan's agents for the counterfeit Luciferian religion and forthcoming New World Order hoax events, which will lure millions to follow error, false dogma, and lies. Will the alien hybrids, like winged Batmen, manufactured in the DUMBs, be let loose with fake hologram of Jesus in the sky? Wait for it. I have a gut feeling that it'll happen. Many Christian dogmas came out of the Egyptian Isis, Osiris, god of the netherworld, Horus, the sun. The temple cult worship system such as, and this is what you've got if you're in the Christian Trinity, heaven, hell, Son of God, resurrection, when it's so clear that Yahweh is the one and only who resurrects the dead. Ezekiel 37. Rapture, tribulation, blood sacrifice, atonement for sin. Armageddon, Son of God, second coming in the clouds. Blood sacrifice, atonement for sin. And this was not commanded by Yahweh. And of course, Genesis 22, where it tells you that Abraham was told to kill his son Isaac as a sacrifice. That's false. That's a false insert. Now, if you go to Jeremiah 7:31 or Jeremiah 19:5, you will realize that Yahweh said that sacrificing sons and daughters or blood sacrifice never entered his mind. So when you want to know about mind control, Yahweh's mind control to make army personnel will kill each other. Each man's sword will be against the other man. Well, they won't have swords in the old days in the end of time. You've got machine guns. So they will be against his brother in the end of days. And I gave you a full report on the Gog and Magog war sold. That's NATO, Ezekiel 38. Now we're up to chart 7. And again, the question is, who was the first to use mind control as a weapon and to control the people? Well, you've now got the CIA, you've got all of the governments of the world using mind control to control the people. And I've just given you a lot of details in this report, but if you go down from 1 down to 7, you've got reports about EEG and Tammy. Now I'll quickly show you what there is in the old book. And don't forget that the same people that got control over the mind control are the same people that have told the world that God doesn't exist. They're the same people that deny that God exists at all. Well, they're going to get a rude shock because Yahweh is passing judgment on all flesh. He tells you that the slain from Yahweh will cover the earth from one side to the other. You got the references there, Jeremiah 25:28. Yahweh used EEG. He says, the gods that did not make the heavens and the earth shall vanish. Pour out your wrath upon the nations who know you not, and upon the families who don't call in your name. That's in Jeremiah 10:6. Yahweh uses EEG and Tammy, and it's about his chosen people, the New Israel group. And I've given you a report on that. The old Israel is no longer his chosen people. And I've given you a total report on that to show you that in 721 BC and 586 BC, all of what you call Israel in the Bible were rejected by Yahweh God. But he calls up from all over the world a new group of people that will retain the name Israel. And he says before I call, they will answer. Before they yet speak, I will hear them, in Isaiah 65:17. E.E.G. Tammy again was used by Yahweh. He will show you mercy. He is abundantly forgiving. And it tells you in the old book, only Yahweh can forgive sin. Isaiah 43:25. There's no blood sacrifice or atonement, so you don't need any Jesus to forgive sin. In the next item 5, thus says Yahweh your Redeemer, and he's referred to as your Saviour. He has chosen you. There's the choosing of the new people. On the day of your salvation, I will assist you, I will protect you, tells you in Isaiah 49. Item 6, Yahweh says, I am Yahweh your Redeemer. I have wiped away your willful sins. I am Yahweh, who made everything, who spread out the heavens and firmed the earth by myself. Now you've got a lot of doctrines. You've got a lot of doctrines in the world that try and teach the people that Jesus was part of the creation. No, he wasn't. That's a lie. And in Isaiah 44:21-27, Yahweh says, I made everything by myself. In Isaiah 42:5-9, he says, I gave a soul and a spirit to those who walk on the earth. In item 7, I am instilling a desire. He will hear a report. He will return to his land. I will strike him down. Now have a look at this for mind control of E.E.G. and Tammy. Yahweh caused the enemy of the Arameans, that's Syria today, to hear the horses in an army, and they fled for their lives. You're looking at mind control. Mind control was not only created by Yahweh, the living creator God, but Yahweh used it over the last 5,000 years. Now we've got a group of people in the CIA and the secret societies who think they're pretty smart because they've worked out how to use mind control to control people. They don't get this for long, because Yahweh says, I will destroy them, and they're regarded as a mute abomination in the book.